Hey guys, the Explorer of Horror here, the Horror Boy. Welcome back to some more reviews, and getting to another requested review here. This is one by Alkisensuper, who requested a film that has been requested by many people over the years, and has been a film that I've seen pop up in countless documentaries and countless horror discussions, and has always been a movie that's just kind of popped up here and there, and that is the original Cat People from 1942, gets a 7.39, directed by Jacques Tourneur. Now, I couldn't pronounce his name before, so I had to kind of look up how to pronounce it, but I think it's Jacques Tourneur. And Cat People is a film that, it's just one of those very infamous horror films out there, and is a horror film that, not only is very successful as a horror film, but just as a film in general. I mean, this is one of the most popular films from that time period, and checking it out, I definitely really enjoyed this movie. This is definitely a classic, and I can see how this movie was definitely very different for the time. I mean, this is a time where having a story like this was very different than other films. I mean, this is before Psycho. This is way before Psycho, and this is kind of doing that risky storyline with the movie. And it's a very simple plot. You have a man meets a girl, falls in love, marries her, notices that she's a little off, a little weird, and she talks about this legend because she comes from her country, and I think it's from Serbia, and there's this story about the cat people that can transform from human to cat. And I guess certain cat people can sense when others are around, and she begins to act weird, doesn't really want to kiss him, doesn't want to really be too close to him because she's afraid that she'll become a cat person and, tear him to shreds. And, of course, he doesn't really believe this story, is a little hesitant, becomes sad because he was really in love with her, so he wanted to really marry her and have a family and for them to be close, and she's very distant from him. And so eventually he talks about getting divorced, meets another woman, she gets jealous, and as the movie goes along, you're wondering, is she going to murder this person, is she not? You're kind of seeing little hints here and there, and it's all a build up to the point where you're wondering, is this chick really a cat person, or is she crazy? Is it all in her head, or is it real? And the thing I like about this movie is that they give you an answer, but they're not like showing you, scene after scene after scene of this creature. And I like how they used a real creature. I believe they used, I want to say a leopard or something like that. But whatever it was, it looked like it was a real creature that was used. So props to that. And you can actually see it in the scene with the actors and everything. So props to that. That was probably very scary having that on set and actually using the real animal for that. And I will say this movie does have a strong atmosphere. It's very much about shadows and about slow build and not really showing you everything. Just kind of clue by clue about this person, and the atmosphere is very moody, very dark and shadowy. I really love the atmosphere. I also love the music in this movie. The music was wonderful. It had a great score to it. I thought it was directed very well. It shot very well. Some good cinematography in there. The acting by the two. Actually, there's like three leads. There's Kent Smith, there's about 3 or 4 leads, honestly. Because there's the husband, the wife, which is Simone Simon, Kent Smith. And then you have Dr. Lewis Judd, which is the therapist. I believe is the therapist for the Irina character. Tom Conway, and you got Jane Randolph. And basically she begins to start trying to murder people. She goes after the therapist, murders him, and begins to try to murder the people that's kind of getting in her way. And the therapist actually kisses her, and this is what awakens this unleashes this kind of powerful evil, and she becomes a cat person and begins to kill people. But it was a really cool story, simple plot. Definitely got the idea of the movie, how the movie's about lust and giving in to your desires, and how people kind of have those, animalistic desires of giving in to the lust. And, I like that not subpar, but that underlining storyline. I like that. That was definitely interesting, and there weren't a lot of movies like that being done back then. It was definitely risky to do that kind of a plot line about that subject matter, because back then, these are times where movies weren't really going for that kind of stuff. I mean, hell, Psycho didn't come around till, 1960? And that was taboo to have, like, a shot of a toilet and people in the same bed, and a girl in a bra. So it was definitely, way back in this time, for them to be doing this kind of stuff was definitely very revolutionary. And, I got a lot of respect for it in that reason as well. I mean, it's a very historical film. I mean, this movie is definitely one of the most influential horror films from the 40s, and I think it's acted very well. I think it's shot very well. I think the cast does a great job. And actually, the guy, I think it's Tom Conway, or maybe it's not. Hold on, let me see. It's not Tom Conway, it's Kent Smith. He looks a lot like Adam West. Like, literally, look up him and look up Adam West. I thought it was Adam West at first. I was like, holy shit, what's Batman doing in this movie? But no, it's not Adam West. It looks just like him, though. And it's around the same time, like, well, not really, because I don't think Adam West was doing movies till the 50s, but he looks just like Adam West. It's kind of haunting how much he looks like Adam West. It's crazy. I was like, holy shit. Mayor West from Family Guy and Batman. Like, I was like freaking out for a second, but it wasn't Adam West. But I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I got a lot of respect for it. The effects, I mean, you don't really have a lot of makeup effects per se. A lot of it is just shadows. You'll have a shadow of a person transforming into a cat creature. Or I thought a really cool scene, which I will also say this movie is definitely a slow burn, slow build, more about the characters and the story and the suspense. And I respect that. I've always liked that about movies, and this is definitely a good slow build to the end of the movie. It's only an hour and 13 minutes, so it's not that long of a movie. It's a very fast-paced film as well. But I like the suspenseful scene of the pool scene, where the woman who is seeing her husband is in this pool, and this chick could kill her. She could, but she just frightens her and kind of walks out of there because it has a look on her face like she has that much power. She could have killed her, but she didn't. She chose not to. Just try to, scare her a little bit. Very effective scene. There's no music in that scene. It's just a buildup of the animal in there, and you're seeing a shadow move here and there, and a growl, and this girl screaming, and you're wondering if she's going to be killed or not. That was easily like the most suspenseful scene of the movie. That was really suspenseful, and it was really well done. But yeah, overall, Cat Peep, I'm going to give it probably a 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. I know it's a bit of a shorter review, but yeah, it's a classic. It's definitely, it's a film that I got a lot of respect for. It's definitely a movie that took a lot of chances for the time that it was made, and yeah, I enjoyed Cat People quite a bit. So, Alkisensuper, thank you so much for the request, man. This is actually a really cool watch, and I've been wanting to see it for a while, so definitely really cool seeing this movie for the first time. But for those wondering if I'll see the remake, I might see the remake down the road because like a 2-hour-long movie. I think last time I checked on it, I think it was like a 2-hour-long movie. And yeah, I'll get to that eventually. Doesn't have quite as high as a rating as this one, but yeah, I'll get to that one eventually. But yeah, Alkisensuper, thanks so much for the request. Anyways, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10 if you've seen the movie. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts on this film in the comments below. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night. Explorer 4 is out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.